are taking part in some interviews so you, the viewer, have an opportunity to hear from the candidates who are running for office this November. Well, today we have a 49th Congressional District candidate, Republican Matt Gunderson, joining us. Matt, this is a strict format. We have 5 questions, and we are giving you 1 minute to answer each of these questions. So putting you in the hot seat today.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. The first question is, many residents face challenges in accessing affordable health care, particularly in the context of rising costs and disparities in service availability. What measures do you believe can be taken to improve access to affordable health care for residents in the district?
Yeah. Well, I think access to health care has to be a preeminent priority for any legislator and our legislative agenda. So I think as much as some Republicans wanted to just say the Affordable Care Act or Obamacare as we know it was a disaster, I mean, I think we have to accept the fact that we were able to embrace that, make it adapt, and work it. And I think that we just need to look into ACA and tweak it to the degree that we can so healthcare is accessible to everyone, at the same time protecting people's individual choice and ability to have private health care and private health insurance.
Okay, question number 2 here. What specific policies do you support for comprehensive immigration reform to address the ongoing migrant crisis?
You know, this is an interesting dynamic because it's right where my opponent is on the wrong side. There's 17 border bills that he had a chance to vote for. 13 of them, those border security bills, had Democratic and Republican support, and he voted against all 17. We have got to secure and close our border by getting back to the programs of the Trump border policies where we had remain in Mexico policies. We had a tighter asylum definition. We simply did not make it as easy for people to come across and open our floodgates. Do we need comprehensive immigration reform? Absolutely, but you can't talk about remodeling your kitchen when your house is on fire. And right now our border's on fire. We've got to secure the border, and then we can talk about how do we handle these immigrants that are here, and how do we absorb them into our communities, and how do we deal with immigration challenges moving forward.
Okay, question number 3 here. What is your position on the level of military and financial support the U.S. should provide to Israel, especially in the wake of the recent conflicts?
Yeah. I stand fully 100% on the side of Israel. We cannot let Israel be intimidated by the terrorists and by Iran, and we have to support them, you know, hook, line, and sinker. It is unbelievable to me that we think that there should be a ceasefire on this issue. If you extrapolate what happened on October 7th to the United States, there's no way we would sit back and say, well, let's talk about it. We need to go in and destroy those cells of terrorism, and we need to paralyze Iran and their ability to continue to fund them.
Question number 4 here. A group of former members of Congress recently called for legislation barring lawmakers from owning or trading individual stocks. There are concerns about members from both parties using non-public information to make large profits. Critics say it's a conflict of interest. Where do you stand on this particular issue, and will you take action?
Yeah, I mean, that's a simple one. I certainly would support a ban on trading individual stocks. You know, we own stocks. I don't know what we own because a UBS manages that portfolio, and I don't know if they're in mutual funds or if they're in individual stocks, but it is certainly not something where congressmen should be holding and using inside information to benefit themselves.
And finally, question number 5. Mr. Gunderson, why should people vote for you?
You know, I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman. I didn't come up through the ranks of local government. So I bring a completely different perspective to problem solving, a different vision to where we go from here. The past isn't working. Business as usual doesn't work, and we need somebody to have a fresher perspective that really represents this district. My opponent is an extreme liberal. He tells you he's a moderate, but his voting record is 98.7% of the time with the Progressive Caucus and the likes of Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. That doesn't represent the consummate purple district that is here. And I'm a pro-choice Republican. I support abortion being safe, legal, and rare. And so we take that issue off the table, and we can have a serious conversation about what are the best policies to secure our border? What are the best policies that we can put in place to address inflation and the high cost of living in California? How do we deal with crime and education challenges? So You know, you need a fresh perspective, somebody who's balanced a budget, somebody who's signed the front of paychecks, and somebody who's not in it for partisanship, but rather to serve the people.
All right, Republican Matt Gunderson, again, candidate in the 49th Congressional District. Wish you all the best as Election Day approaches rather quickly.
Thank you, Heather. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for your time.